Welcome to Second Take, the show that focuses on the issues behind the news. The Council for Scientific and Industrial Research held its third biennial conference in Pretoria this week. Engineering News Senior Deputy Editor Keith Campbell spent some time at the conference. He joins me now in studio to talk about some of the highlights. Keith, welcome to Second Take. What is the significance of the CSIR conference?
It's a pretty big conference. It covered a huge range of fields. There were sessions on health, information and communications technology, the built environment, the natural environment. There were sessions on different elements, sectors of South African industry, the forestry industry, the mining industry, the aerospace and defence industries. There were sessions on application of specific technologies to industry, like, for example, the application of laser technology to industry. There were, at any given time, 4 different sessions running simultaneously. So it's a pretty huge conference. Large numbers of researchers, large numbers of people in the audience. The ability of a single reporter to cover the whole thing is obviously very limited, so I focused on the aerospace and defence sessions.
Well, one of the concepts that was canvassed at this conference was using aerospace as a national university. What does that entail? That
was an interesting concept raised by a senior CSIR researcher, Mr. Bovin Gerrits. And he pointed out that many developing countries use their aerospace industries, the developing aerospace industries, as what he called national universities. That is, they are a way to stimulate not only research and development in science, engineering, technology, but to encourage young people to get involved in science, engineering, technology. Aerospace is exciting. Aerospace is stimulating. There are many people, especially young people, if they hear an airplane, they'll look up. It's this kind of thing that can be used to push forward the development of wider skills in an economy. And he felt South Africa should have the same concept, even though South Africa has had an aerospace sector for longer than many other developing countries. There was still potential to do this. To encourage the development of science, technology and engineering through the aerospace industry.
What were some of the other main takeaways from the conference?
Well, it covered even in the aerospace and defence sector, had quite a few different topics under discussion. Research into science of lasers, for example, was one of the papers presented. But a couple of things that struck me. Firstly, for example, the re-equipment program for the Air Force, particularly the purchase of the Gripen fighter from Sweden, that has boosted South Africa's expertise in the field of radar. Now, South Africa's expertise in radar goes back a very long way. South Africa was probably the first Commonwealth country after Britain itself to design and build a radar set in the early days of the Second World War. The country also has experience in air-to-air radars, fighter radars, over the past 20 or so years. But with the induction of the Gripen and its PS05A radar, produced by a Swedish company that was originally Ericsson, is now Saab EDS, that has provided a big boost for local expertise, because the Swedes transferred an awful lot of technical information with the radar. One of the reasons for this, by the way, was because South Africa had people who had expertise in radar. The South Africans were able to ask the right questions to the Swedes and ask for the right information, and also ask for modifications to the radar to meet South Africa's requirements. For example, the radar supplied to South Africa has a weather mapping mode, which the original radar did not have because the Swedes didn't really need it. South Africa has very severe thunder and hailstorms. Pilots definitely do need weather radar in this country. You don't want to fly an expensive fighter through a hailstorm if you can possibly avoid it. And similarly, the radar has a mode for scanning the sea surface. The sea is a difficult surface for radar, and the nature of the sea surface in the Baltic, which of course is the sea washing the shores of Sweden, is very different from the nature of the sea surface of the oceans washing the shores of South Africa. So it was necessary to adjust the radar so it could function over water here and not over water in the Baltic. And it was things like this. And as part of this process, the CSIR was able to develop a team of young radar researchers. South Africa's got a lot of radar researchers in their 50s, not so many in their 20s and 30s, and part of this program has seen the creation of a team of young radar researchers again in South Africa. And things like this came out of the conference.
Keith, thank you very much. That is the Second Take show for this week. Thank you for watching, and join us again next time for more news analysis.